is how did you find your passion there instead of the child sexual abuse? Why domestic violence?
Um, Actually, I was at a support group. This was after I had left my abuser, who was my husband, my mother's now ex-husband. And he was also the father of 4 of my children. Um, I went to a support group, and after going a couple of times, there was a young lady there who was at a shelter, and she had exhausted her extension. And she was distraught. She was like, she knew her abuser was looking for her, and she had nowhere to go. And I felt for her because I was at that place. And when I left my abuser, I was in a whole other part of California, but I still felt he was going to find me. So when I went home and I just prayed and I asked the Lord to use me, and I began to write down things that I wanted to do. And when I went back to the next meeting and I spoke to a facilitator about volunteering and starting my own program, she in turn introduced me to someone who worked at Connecticut Coalition of Domestic Violence. And she had me write down everything that came to mind that I wanted to do. And bring it when I came to the appointment. And then after looking it over and we talked, it all came to helping women of domestic violence.
And that's good. Women of domestic violence, they're very special. I know when I was a woman of domestic violence, I wasted people's time and called the Safe Horizons. It had them go through all of that and put me in the shelter and then go back to them. And I remember I would meet them on the corner from the shelter. I had figured if I'm going to go meet him on the corner, eventually I'm going to let him sweet talk me till I can go back. And he done told me that he's going to change and then get beat up again and be back on. I think that if Safe Horizon, if I would have called him again, they probably would have had me arrested because I kept going back and forth, not knowing the seriousness of it. It wasn't until when my close friends started getting murdered as victims of domestic violence, and I had to bury my friends that I knew, like, enough is enough. I'm worth more than dying at the hands of some man because he has a problem. And I do feel that it is a problem. A lot of times it's learned behavior in them. A lot of times it's anger management. But at the same time, our little fragile bodies is not made to absorb the punches of a man or whatever to be anybody's punching bag. So I commend you on that, to really, really, and I pray that God gives you a building to help you house those ones that are really, don't have a place to go, because sometimes the system is not designed for everybody. When you go to Safe Horizons, a lot of times it's just the red tape that defers them because they really don't feel safe and they really don't want to go through the intake process that you have to go through it. So we're going to be praying that God gives you a building for your assignment, because I feel that that's your assignment on your life. And we're going to go to Miss Shauna. Shauna, so I just love her she's just so bubbly all the time. She's just a little bubbly boo. So you, Miss Shauna in Maryland, Miss Mender of Broken Hearts, you are just so awesome in so many ways to me. And your question, because I know that you have had some struggles as well, as opposed to allowing love to love you when it comes to your fiance. And I just want you to shed some light on that, so that when we come off this call, you and Ira could talk about it.
Yes, me and Ira need to talk big time. Well, as far as him and I would say, because of the childhood sexual abuse, because I was molested at 5, and then again at 8 by my grandfather. And after being molested by my grandfather, I was almost raped at 11, and then I was raped at 14. And then being raped at 14, his friends turned around and 3 of them gang raped me. And after that, I just totally just kind of would say I kind of went numb, crazy and numb. And I just felt so unloved, so worthless, so just, I felt like nothing, bottom, just nothing. And at the age of 14, I ran away from home. And FBI, everybody was looking for me. And I just felt like, even at that age, I took the call on God. And I was like, well, God, I don't understand why all of this is happening to me, but I know I can't take it. I tried to commit suicide. I took my mother's pills, and she has lupus. And so she had some very strong pills. And, he still sustained me. I cut my wrist, and he still sustained me. I threw myself down steps, and he still sustained me, and I was very angry. And it just so happened one day I tried to call the runaway hotline, and they couldn't help me, and I ended up getting somebody on the phone, and he ended up being a pervert. And with all of that happening with me, I think as a child that messed up my view of love. And my mother, she was never really around. She worked 2 jobs. She was a truck driver, and she went to school. And that's what you call a natural kid child. So I was always home by myself, and she was always crying because she stayed depressed. And I just never knew what love was. I didn't. And now at the age of 46, also being in a cycle of domestic violence relationships, to where I have an artificial knee, to where he twisted me around and just snapped my knee in half. So I have an artificial knee to that, and also a busted finger. For smashing my finger, and I have a curved spine from being thrown down a flight of cement steps from being kicked with a pair of cement steel-toe boots. So I always I thought love was just somebody just looking at me from the outside, and this was loving me. And with my fiance now, our thing is that I guess I'm complex. I'm a very complex person because I have a lot of emotions going on. Sometimes he may just want to touch me on my back. I'm like, oh, hey, whoa, wait a minute. You're getting a little too close. Back up, even in my face. So I'm trying, with the help of the Lord. We've been, fasting and praying and everything for the Lord to help me to deal with these issues, because it is the residue, of everything that has happened with me to help me love this man, because he's a God-fearing man. He's a good man, and I always tell him, you come from a place where you had a silver spoon in your mouth. Y'all live like the Huxtables. Y'all went camping. You had your mommy and your daddy, your sister. Y'all did the educated thing. Not me. I come off the hard streets of Baltimore. Bullets flying by my head, in the gang, and, having people shot up in my arms, burying people. So, it's hard for him to understand me. It's hard for me to understand him. But I guess with the love of the Lord, we should be able to conquer anything.
Yes, you can. And we're going to make sure us, as your sisters, we're going to hold you accountable to allow, we're going to pray you through this, that you allow love to love you. Because it does take a very special man to handle our brokenness and our bitterness, and it is hard sometimes after you have gone through so many things to recognize a gentle touch, because we become so, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think that's a trick of the enemy as well, because it tries to keep, he has to always have some type of stronghold on you, and if we can't be intimate with our husbands, with our spouses, because we've gone through so much, then that poses another problem, So it's just a distraction for him to keep us blinded. But he's a liar, as always. He's a liar.
Yes, he is.
So
yes, he is.
I'm going to turn you over to Ira and Warren with that situation. If I could tie Mr. Smiley down for him to get on the show one night and explain how he handled these little broken pieces. And when I was in my fragile state, I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna have the husbands come on the show one night and
that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
And talk how it is to handle us in all our ways. And we've come to the end of our show, but this show was really, I wanted you ladies to get out there and put your voices on, and as we gear up for this collaboration that's going to be so awesome, I wanted you all to just interact with each other and get used to speaking in the same arenas and stuff. Sabine's event, if you can make it to Philly this weekend, Sabine, tell them about it right quick. Before we come.
Yes, it's a Woman Conference Expo, which is under a big umbrella, is to raise awareness for cancer patients. I am a cancer survivor, and also for battered women, domestic violence, sexual abuse, homeless women, just to name a few. And the amount of testimony that's in that room alone, my God. I am just waiting for a great move of God, and everyone should be able to have a personal encounter on Saturday morning, or Saturday period. So I'm excited. I'm pumped. We have our keynote speaker, Mrs. Smiley, that's going to be in and
and give them the address in case they could swing by. So the people that listen to this show, if they want to come by, what's the address and the time?
The address is 800 West Colony Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19120.
Thank you.
For your ticket information, you can go to Eventbrite. You can register. And also, you can purchase your ticket at the door. I'm looking for you all. God bless.
And her scripture comes out of Proverbs 31, verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. Isn't that what we all are doing? That's so awesome. So we've come to the end of our show, ladies. I thank you all for joining me tonight. You guys have made me proud, especially Wanda. Wanda is an hour ahead of us. She was in school. Thank you for joining us on the line. You never know when we're going to pop up in Texas and get it going in Texas. So we look forward to that. So I thank you all, ladies. I love you all, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.